First, I'll start off by thanking my friend. I had the privilege of coming to speak at the Unity Breakfast. And when I had the privilege of speaking then, I praised Kevin Smith publicly and said, not only was he a great candidate, but I predict you're going to have the chance to vote for him again in the near-term future to serve you as a leader in the great state of New Hampshire. Let's give our host, Kevin Smith, a great round of applause. He's a principled conservative, reformer, leader. I just wish he hadn't scheduled this dinner at the same time LSU was playing Alabama back on my last night. The second, and look, the main reason we're here, it is so important we elect Ovide as the next great Republican reform governor from the state of New Hampshire. I happen to believe that what candidates want to do is important. The way they govern is important. Look at what he has proposed to do for your state. He has proposed to cut and simplify the tax code. He has proposed to reform the educational system to empower students and parents and to meet the needs of your employers. He's made several other proposals on health care and energy, and I'm here to tell you those proposals will work. We've done similar things in Louisiana. Other reform governors are doing that across the country. I'm here to tell you we enacted the largest income tax cut in our state. We've empowered students and their parents to make sure that every student in Louisiana is getting a great education. We've cut government spending to balance our budget every single year. As a result, we're a top 10 state in private sector job growth since I've been governor. And after 25 years of losing our kids, every year that I've been governor, we've had more people move into Louisiana rather than leave our state. He's going to bring those kinds of reforms, even bigger and better reforms, to the state of New Hampshire. We've got to elect this man as your next governor. That Unity Breakfast, I welcome the competition because he's going to do an even better job. He's going to force us to improve our game. That's what it's all about. You know, there's another election coming this Tuesday as well. And like many others, I also want to thank you for Kelly and Frank and their tremendous service in the Congress and the Senate. You could have elected two more outstanding leaders to represent you in Washington, D.C. Let's give your delegation a great round of applause. You've heard from other speakers tonight about the president and his broken promises. He promised us he would cut that deficit in half by the end of his first term, hadn't done that. Promised us he was going to turn this economy around in 3 years, for it to be a one-term proposition, hadn't done that either. Promised us if we liked our health care plan, we could keep it, and our doctors, we could keep them, hasn't done that either. Promised us he would protect Medicare, hadn't done that. Promised us he was going to cut our health care premiums $2,500 a year, hadn't done that. Promised us he was going to transform the partisan culture in D.C., hasn't done that. Finally promised he was going to reform our entitlement programs to sustain them for our children and grandchildren, hadn't done that either. The president, quite frankly, can't ask you, are you better off than you were 4 years ago? No. So what has he done? He's come up with the most meaningless campaign slogan that I have seen in my lifetime. Listen to his campaign slogan. Forward. Forward to what? This president had a chance to answer that question. He faced Governor Romney in 3 national debates. You did not hear him spend 1 minute talking about his plans for the next 4 years. Forward to what? Forward to higher taxes on job creators? Forward to more cuts in Medicare? Forward to trillions of dollars of more debt that our children and grandchildren are going to have to pay back? Forward to more apologies for America here and overseas? Forward to even more dependence on other countries for our energy? Forward to higher energy prices? Forward to a continued declining economy? When you think about it, you do have to give the president this much credit. When it comes to a marketing slogan, forward is a great idea. This president wants you to think about forward, up, down, around. He wants you to think about everything but reality. He doesn't want you to think about how we're doing today. He doesn't want you to think about where we've come, where we're going. Because the reality is this. This president is much better at getting his job than he is in actually doing his job in Washington, D.C. I'm here to tell you, we simply cannot afford 4 more years of on-the-job training. This president had never run a business, never run a state, never run a lemonade stand before we elected him president of the United States. You compare that to Governor Romney. And by the way, if you were racing at 80 miles per hour towards a brick wall, would you vote to go forward? That's exactly what's happening in our country right now as we face this fiscal threat, as we face over $16 trillion of debt. We dare not become the first generation that leaves fewer opportunities for our children than we inherited from our parents. The American dream is that we leave more opportunities. The American dream is not that they guaranteed equal outcomes, but they're guaranteed equal opportunity. The American dream is that if our children work hard and get a great education, they should be able to do even better than we have done. That's what every generation leaves for our children. Let's not become the first generation that mortgages our children's future. This election is not about you and me. Let's be honest. I've got 3 young kids at home, 10, 8, and 6. This election is about them. It's about your children, your grandchildren. It's about what kind of America, what kind of American dream we leave for them. And I'm going to close with one final point. Before I do, I want to apologize. When I'm done speaking, a couple of us are going to get up because we're going to fly from here to Iowa. Came to New Hampshire yesterday with Governor Romney. We've been campaigning across the state today. We're going to Iowa tomorrow. We're going to go to a couple other swing states because every vote counts. Senator Phelan put it so well. And so we're not being, I apologize, when we get up to leave, it's not because we're going to go watch a great football game. Don't be like it. We've actually got more campaign work ahead of us, but I want to close with this. New Hampshire does select president. Governor Romney, Paul Ryan, they're offering the ideas to turn this country around. Governor Romney's been successful as a governor in the private sector, running the Olympics. You often hear politicians say this, but it is actually true this time. This is the most important election in our lifetime. Now, I can't tell you to vote early and often. We don't do that. But I can tell you, tell everybody you know. We got 3 days left to make sure it's not 4 more years or more of the same. We got 3 days left. Tell everybody you know this is the most important election. New Hampshire could very well, you started this election, you could end up finishing this election by helping us select the next president of these United States. Let's make sure we help President Obama pack those back boxes, move out of the White House. Let's make him a one-term president. Let's put him out of work so our grandchildren can go back to work in the greatest country in the history of the world. God bless you all.
Croc TV.